email marketing, when done appropriately, has the highest ROI of any marketing. Okay, when done appropriately. All right. So how do you do it? Appropriately. It's a $60 million question right there, isn't it? So, isn't that the challenge? You ask a lot of people, how do you do it? And they know they need it, they know it needs to be done, this, that, and the other, but you ask a person, how do you do it? And ultimately what you end up getting is you end up getting that deer in the headlights look, right?
Making a system, a schedule, and some automation.
A system, a schedule, and some automation, all right.
Content.
Some content, some email addresses.
How about, let's figure out why we want to email people in the first place.
Okay, why we want to email people in the first place. All right, so let me ask you this. Do you want to focus on getting a big list first?
No.
No?
Just want to start.
Do what?
You just want to get started.
Okay, you want to get started. Well, you got to have a list of people to email, right?
Or your clients, I guess you start.
Okay, so let's assume you have clients. All right. If you have no clients.
You can set up and put your QR code out there and get people to sign up.
Okay.
Well, the main thing is you don't want a big list, you want a targeted list.
Okay, so let's say that you've got a big list of people that are targeted. Is that where you start? I've got 50,000 potential customers. I've got a list of 50,000 potential customers.
You want to segment it based on their needs or what you think their needs are.
Okay.
You can answer those needs.
All right.
Main point and have content readily available prior.
Okay. So got to have content, got to have leads, got to have segmentation, got to have all that kind of stuff. So where do we start?
Your CRM or
I'd say you gotta have a plan.
Okay, got to have a plan. All right. So what does your plan look like?
Find out who you need to reach out to, who needs your service. That's the first step.
What's
Okay.
the goal of what's the marketing goal? Are you wanting you've already got them. Are you wanting to, what's the call to action? What's the steps you want them to take? What's your prior planning to make that happen?
Okay, so over this past week, I've been teaching Mark. Mark and I have been working on this a lot, right? And it's about, sometimes you say it's about like trying to take a sip out of a fire hose. Well, this is more like trying to take a sip out of 8 fire hoses simultaneously, right? Because the reality of it is the vast majority of people don't have any concept of really where I need to start, or they have an overly generic concept of where to start. And it really doesn't help them with forming the structures and the systems and the processes for what to do and in what order. So the very first question you have to ask yourself, question number 1 is, how do I monetize? Right? What's the purpose of an email list? In email marketing, what's the purpose?
Conversion. Or sales.
Purpose is to make some money.
Purpose is to make money. Right? Be careful with the word conversion, because conversion could mean any action that you want someone to take, right? So a conversion by definition is someone taking a given action that you prescribe for them to take, right? That could be click a link, watch a video, go to a webinar, make a small sale, make a big sale. It could be anything, right? So the word conversion in and of itself is kind of a generic term. The question is how am I going to make money? All right, so what do you need to know before you can answer that question? What's the first thing you need to know?
On how to make money.
Yeah, how am I going to monetize this? What's the first thing you need to know?
Know what they need.
Okay, you need to know what they need? Okay, but what if what they need is not what you sell?
know what you sell.
I mean, at the end of the day, we do marketing. You need toilet paper.
I think Becky had something. What were you about to say?
Know what you sell.
Ah, yes. So step 1, right? products and services offered. In other words, you can't monetize a list of people if you don't know what you have to offer to those people. Products and services offered. So in other words, I actually need to start, right, by doing an audit. Right? I start by doing an audit. I need to know, what am I selling essentially that I can sell to people, right? Why is that first?
Because you don't make any money if you can't sell to the right people.
Okay.
You need to know what your product is, and you need to know how it works, and your services and how they work before you can do anything else.
I can't give an offer to someone if I don't know what I'm going to offer to them.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay, so now I know my products and services offered. What's my second step? If I'm building out this process, what's my second step?
Knowing who your client base is, who's going to need your products and services.
Okay, knowing the client base, knowing who's going to need the products and services.
Build an offer.
Build an offer, okay.
Knowing how much it costs you to provide the service and the product.
Knowing how much it costs me, hopefully you've got a profit margin already. If you don't know what your profit margin is, you shouldn't be in the business in the first place, right? So, got to build an offer, blah blah blah. No. Next step. So, I've done some research. Next step is I need to do some planning. I need to do some planning. I need to take an annual calendar and look at what's on the calendar for the year so I can begin to plan promotions for products and or services around that calendar. Why? Fail to plan, plan to fail. Okay, why else?
You don't want to sell lawnmowers during peak snow times. You don't want to sell snow shovels in July.
If I'm an HVAC company, I probably should not be promoting repairing your heat in the middle of May, right? June, July. I need to be able to look at my products and services and determine when are peak times for products and services. Every business has ups and downs, right?
Yeah.
Every business has cycles. Every business that tracks anything can generally tell you these are our good months historically, these are our bad months historically, right? So I need to be able to plan accordingly. I need to know, hey, if I've got, going back to our HVAC example, if I'm doing a load of business in June and July, then I need to be sending offers to people to be able to get more of that business in June and July, right? I need to plan appropriately. Now, the main reason for that, you say, well, wait a minute, but you're already getting a load of business in June and July, and so are your competitors. So I need to be able to plan annually. I also need to be able to look at the calendar and say what's going on in given months. Right? We have this thing called Thanksgiving. Right? And we often see stores that make loads of sales around this Thanksgiving time. We used to call it Black Friday. Now it's all convoluted. They're selling stuff on, it's the Wednesday before the Thursday before Black Friday, right? It's the pre-Thanksgiving sale, right? Right, Cyber Monday, right? You got Groundhog Day, St. Patrick's Day, right? You got Christmas, we've got 4th of July, there's all kinds of stuff. And you have months, right, that are themed as well. right? You have themes like Black History Month. You have National Dog Awareness Day, right? I didn't even know that existed until I saw it on Facebook like yesterday. And I'm like, what the? Okay, all right, fine. What? Right? You can actually go to, there are places on the internet where you can go and you get a list of virtually everything that's, you know, when is National Grandparents Day, right? When is National Step Siblings Day? I didn't know it was a thing. Right?
National Pirates Day.
Hey, you know, I can remember for years you would see mattress places having the President's Day sale, right? So you see that kind of stuff. And so the point is you need to be able to look at a calendar annually and begin to plan what months for what products and services. What do we want to focus on during these times, right? So we want to be able to plan our promos in that. Now, what's next?
Break down your annual calendar into more manageable bites.
Okay. Quarterly, absolutely. So I need to begin to build a 90-day rolling promo calendar. I need to be able to build a 90-day rolling promo calendar. Why?
So you have it forethought enough in advance and broke down, like Mark said, into manageable pieces,
Okay.
time slots.
All right.
So, like we just did the Labor Day kickoff, but we did it 2 months ago. We started the planning and implementing the video, the drawing, the sign up, the links, everything necessary for that plan to take place at that time.
Mhm.
With forethought.
Absolutely. So when we're thinking about this kind of stuff, I need to be able to look at this rolling promo calendar and say, now I understand these are the promotions that I want to run in this month, but now I need to start breaking it down over a 90-day period by the week, right? Who am I going to send what to for promos at what point and why, right? So far, we've talked about products and services offered, and we've talked about promotions. Is that everything? Are we done with email marketing at this particular point? So, I can build out emails and build out the email campaigns that go along with these, and I'm good to go. Right? Am I done?
You've got to have a call to action somewhere.
And that's in the emails, though. If I'm building out the emails that go along with the promos, am I done? What's next? Retargeting list? Okay, but that's your promos. You've got the captive people in emails. You're going to send them promos on a monthly basis, right? You're sending out promos every month. You've planned out an entire year.
Doesn't mean they're gonna look at it. We want them to look at these marketing emails, correct?
Okay, so what are you going to do?
Monitor it.
Okay, monitor it, track it, and then what?
Act accordingly.
Okay, you're missing something. You're actually missing a lot of things, but
Follow-up campaign?
follow-up campaign from the promo? How so?
Based on their action
Okay, or inaction?
or inaction.
Could be. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had somebody email you about something? They got like a flash sale about something. They email you about it, and then they just keep emailing you over and over and over and over again. And you're not really opening it. You're not really clicking it. They just keep emailing you over and over and over and over again. For the love of God, stop emailing me.
Yeah.
Right? What do you do?
I usually dump them.
Okay, but you guys just suggested that's what you do. That was your suggestion in a nutshell.
There actually are different types of campaigns, and there's a time to use each one.
Ah, okay.
It's not all for re-engagement, it's not all for retargeting.
Ah.
There's different types of campaigns.
So in other words, when we're doing email marketing, the only thing that we focused on so far is promotions. If all you're ever emailing somebody is, here's our newest coupons, you're no better than Harbor Freight, right? I've griped about this enough, and I actually sent messages to Harbor Freight that now they've made some changes in their emails. It's kind of cool, right? So I love me some Harbor Freight. I don't like the only time I get emails is just a list of coupons, right? They've started recently emailing out, these are some pictures of some of the completed projects that our customers are doing and how-tos and
Some value-added campaigns, or like you were saying, happy birthday campaigns, things like that.
okay. But there's something we need to do before that.
You're not exactly wrong, because in the end, we should always be looking at ways to add value.
Yes.
So you're not,
Everything should have value of some kind, right? So we also need to build an indoctrination campaign. Now, the word indoctrination, what do you think it means?
The Kool-Aid, join us. Kool-Aid, join us.
Drink the Kool-Aid, that's right. You're not wrong. So that's absolutely right. The word indoctrination is essentially, it's getting buy-in into the who you are and bringing you into the community of people, right? And that's why, oftentimes a fairly common use of the word indoctrination is involved with cults, right? Being indoctrinated into, hazing for fraternities and sororities. That's an indoctrination, right? We're not talking about that kind of indoctrination. What we are talking about is a campaign that when people sign up for your list, they get an email or emails letting them know what to expect. Okay?
you're establishing a mindset of frame of reference, if you will.
Absolutely. So we want them to know what to expect, number one. In other words, if I'm going to be emailing them weekly, I need to let them know that up front, right? Because there's nothing more frustrating than you sign up, you get a little freebie on some website somewhere, and the next thing you know, it's like why am I getting 22 emails a day from these people, right?
And that's the point right there. You should be able to answer the sometimes unasked question that's in the back of our mind. Why am I getting this email?
Right.
They should not have to ask themselves or anyone else, why am I getting this stupid email?
Absolutely. We want to let them know things like frequency. We want to let them know things like what type of value will we be providing, right? We want to invite them to do things like follow us on social media, right? So they can get more value out of the things that we offer. We want to be able to offer additional freebies or additional content in the areas in which they may have interest, right? In this indoctrination. Essentially, indoctrination is an introduction to the company. Here's what we do. Here's how often we do it. Here's what you're going to get out of it. Thank you so much.
And here's why you want to stay with us.
Absolutely. Okay? Now, why do we want to do this?
Set expectations.
Okay. I'll tell you that 99.9% of people do not do this at all. They do not do it at all. But we want to do this. It's something that you want to do to be able to set expectations up front. Set the tone for the relationship, right? Because just like anything else, whether it's a customer, a prospect, what your attempt is you're attempting to build a long-term relationship with someone, right? So if I'm attempting to build a long-term relationship with someone, one of the very first things that you want to do if you get in a relationship with someone is you want to set some boundaries. Right? Relationships without boundaries tend to go where? Yeah, sideways or south very quickly, right? So we want to make sure that we set some boundaries in essence, and again set the parameters for that relationship. Now, another thing that we want to build is engagement, right? Engagement. What do you think I mean by engagement campaign?
Points of contact.
Points of contact, okay. What else?
Points of quality contact.
Points of quality contact?
And also going back to what you said earlier, Pat, about
conversions.
There's a call to action or something, there's a next step. So each of the emails should have some purpose leading up to the ultimate conversion that we're after.
All right, so,
Maybe just actually getting them to click a button.
okay. So let me ask you a question. If I were to walk up to you on the street and look at you and say, hey, baby, looking good. Let's knock some boots and have some babies. How would that go? Confusing, right? And then? Right? Terrible.
I think offensive would be a word that applies.
And the problem is if you said yes, that sets a whole different tone for that relationship, you know what I'm saying? It's probably not the long-term relationship you want to be in, right? Okay, so confusing, slap, so on and so forth. Why? There's no relationship. Right. Yeah. I mean, there's no concept of relationship prior, right? So what might in a long-term relationship, right, later down the road be looked at as, stop it, you're being so silly. Okay, quit being crazy, is infuriating to some when it's done up front. You see what I'm getting at? Right? And so it's that whole idea of what do 99% of businesses do? 99% of businesses will walk up to you, hey, I'm David, buy some stuff. Buy from me now. You don't want to buy from me? Fine. Screw you, buddy. I mean, in it, you think about it, it's what the vast majority of businesses do. Right. So the thing is it doesn't follow the idea of human relationships, right? So essentially what we want when we're building this stuff out is we want to build relationships with people, right? So you get somebody that comes to your website and they say, oh, look, they've got a freebie on such and such. Oh, I'm interested in that. Let me put in my email address and get that, right? So they put in their email address and they get that. What did they just tell you? Yeah, they just raised their hand and said, hey, I'm a little bit interested in that. So if I'm going to build a relationship with someone, what do I want to do next?
Number one, show them stuff similar to what they're already interested in.
Okay. So I just want to have more conversation about the things that they're interested in. Let's be a little more helpful. Right? So, by the way, if you like that, you might like this too.
People who bought this also bought.
Yeah. So that's a post-sell. That would be an upsell or cross-sell campaign, which is not what engagement is all about. Engagement is about let's bring you more value in an area that we know you're interested in. So ultimately, we can get you at some point when the time is right to say, absolutely, that's me, I'll buy that. Right? Then we need to do an Ascension campaign. What does Ascension mean? Dinner and a movie. Yeah. It's, hey, you've shown some commitment. Hey, you've bought in a little bit. Let's get you bought in more. Right? This is the idea of I'm taking someone who is a buyer and now I'm turning them into a multi-buyer. Right? This Ascension is where upsells, cross-sells, those kind of things. That's more where the idea of people who bought this also are interested in this thought process comes in, right? So, in other words, if I'm selling zero-turn mowers, right? Hey, I know you're interested. I know you bought that zero-turn mower. You know we've got a tow package with a little cart that goes with that. So that way, you know, if you're out there mowing stuff and you got big sticks and things you need to pick up while you're mowing, you just pick them up, throw them in the cart, cart them off to wherever they need to be, so you're not having to just chuck them around to be able to mow around them, right? Hey, I never thought about that. That's a pretty good idea. How much is the little cart, right? How much is the little tow package? Cool. It goes right along with what your offer is, right? So I'm upselling, cross-selling. That's what Ascension is all about. As Ascension continues, it's let me turn them into an advocate, right? Let me turn them into an advocate. I want these people talking good about my business, right? I want to turn them into a promoter, meaning they're out here recruiting people as customers. The next thing I want to do is I want to do a segmentation. Segmentation. What's a segmentation campaign? Categorizing based on
Likes and dislikes.
okay, areas of interest.
Yep. Previous interactions, so that you know what they want and what they don't.
Okay, so the purpose of a segmentation campaign is
To do other promotions towards them based on their likes and dislikes.
purpose of a segmentation campaign is to find out what they're most interested in right now. Right? It's one of those things that just because I might say, hey, I'm interested in a gold chain today, it doesn't mean that I'll be interested in it tomorrow. It could have been fleeting, right? Maybe I'm interested in a silver chain tomorrow, right?
Also, needs are going to change based on, you know, what you already have, what that kind of stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Needs will change, desires will change, wants will change, things will change over time, right? So, one mistake that people make in this type of marketing is assuming that because you came into my list interested in X, that you're always interested in X, right? You may not be. You may be interested in X, but you may be interested in something else first, right? In marketing, for example, you may be interested in reputation management and thinking, I'm kind of interested, I want a little bit more information about that. But in your mind, you may be thinking, I need to get to SEO taken care of first, right? So you're not really buying the reputation management stuff because in your mind, you're thinking, I need to get SEO taken care of first, but I haven't had the conversation with you about SEO. So now you're looking other places to buy it. Now, I maybe continue having the conversation about reputation management, right? And so I continue that conversation about reputation management, but what happens? You go buy SEO somewhere else because I didn't find out what your interests were. What are you most interested in at any given point, right? So,
Really, one other logical step, we were talking about like lawnmowers. If you come in interested in a lawnmower and you get that lawnmower, that doesn't mean that the conversation's over because you're not interested in a lawnmower anymore. You got one and you're not going to need one for a while. And if you do need one immediately, you're not going to buy it from the same place where you bought the lawnmower that broke down in a month.
true that. So I need to be able to segment out people. Then the next thing I need to build is a re-engagement campaign. A re-engagement campaign. Meaning,
Hit them up again.
hit them up again. Okay. So one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is it's not the size of your list that matters, it's the activity of the list that matters, right? Did you guys know that the average attrition rate for an email list is 22.5% per year? The average attrition rate is 22.5% per year. In other words, you're going to get some percentage of people that you send stuff to that for whatever reason, they're going to stop opening your stuff. Okay. Did you know that 30% of Americans change email addresses annually? %30 change email addresses annually. It's a lot, yeah. Re-engagement. Re-engagement just means that, if you're tracking things, then you'll see there's a percentage of emails that just stop getting opened. Now, we're not talking about things like hard bounces. A hard bounce means that email address is no longer valid. The account's been shut down, right? Delete that out of your system and move on, right? But this is people, emails are being sent to an inbox, and for whatever reason, they're not being opened, they're not being read, they're not being clicked, right? So problem is that actually hurts your overall deliverability, right? The higher the percentage of emails that are not being opened, clicked, engaged with in whatever way, the higher the percentage of those, the more likely your emails are to start going to spam. Okay? So you want to keep that engagement as high as possible. So what happens when people stop engaging? What we want to do is we want to do a re-engagement campaign, right? So we want to take that specific segment of your population and build a campaign around, hey, let's get active. What happened? Here's some of our best content. Here's some of the best stuff that's going on. Let's get what's up, right? Hey, let's get reacquainted. Hey, I know we haven't spoken in a while, but I was thinking about you. Right? It's kind of like relationships, right? You have any of those people that you think about every now and then? You hadn't talked to them in a while. You think about them every once in a while. You're like, I need to call so-and-so. I need to check on them and see what's going on. Right? That's the purpose of re-engagement. Yes, sir.
So with that thing that you were mentioning where, if you're not getting re-engaged, it'll send you to spam. You remember that one insurance client that we were talking about, and their paperwork got sent into their spam folder automatically because sometimes and they said, well, you have some email providers just send our stuff straight to spam. Is that what caused that? Just the fact that they
don't know. You're not going to be able to, for any one given email, you're not going to be able to track down, this is the exact cause of why this email right here went to spam. It could be anything from the email address itself, the content of the email, the ISP, their email address, their email host. Could be that, could be firewalls within that kind of stuff. There are 1,000 different reasons why this stuff could happen, right? Which is why it's important to try to keep our lists as clean as possible and keep them engaged as possible, right? Because we want to try to offset that as much as possible, right? But invariably, it could quite literally be that there was a keyword within an email that triggered a spam filter and it sent it to spam, right? There are certain keywords that will automatically spam, right? So, some stuff obvious, porn, sex, those types of illicit deal, gambling, those things tend to immediately go to spam. You have to manually remove it from spam, right? So there are a lot of other smaller keywords that people don't think about. The word free, okay? Most email providers these days, if you use the word free within an email, it will automatically spam it. Right? It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
What's a good engagement percentage to keep things from going to spam?
A good engagement percentage?
For your whole list that,
It's different. It's based on every company. You can't blanket to say, hey, this is the engagement percentage. I need to have at least 22% of the people that I send emails to open emails. It's a lot more convoluted than that. So the question is how many people, if I send out 200,000 emails, what percentage of those people are actually marking it as spam? What percentage of people are not just marking it as spam, but they're marking it as spam and complaining, right? Have you ever seen where you go to unsubscribe from something and it pops up the little radio boxes, right? And it gives you an option of why you chose to unsubscribe. If you select anything in any of those boxes, it's not just a spam, it's not just an unsubscribe, it's an unsubscribe with a complaint.
With a complaint?
With a complaint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I had 5 this week.
Yeah. So it becomes an unsubscribe with a complaint. The complaint is they've told you specifically why it is, or they've said to the ISP specifically why it is that they unsubscribe. For whatever the reason is, it doesn't really matter. Okay? The key here is that I don't necessarily need to focus on, number one, not everybody's going to open all your emails. Okay? If you got a list of 100,000 people, the expectation that 100% of those people will open your emails is a completely unrealistic expectation. Okay? A 25% open rate is an amazing open rate. Okay? So you got to look at those kind of things, right? Re-engagement just says I want to keep track of how often I'm sending things versus how often people are not opening. For example, if I'm sending something out once a week, right? I'm sending something out once a week, I may look at 120 days. If someone hasn't opened my stuff for 120 days, they're unengaged, right? If I'm sending something out daily, I may be looking at 30 days, right? You haven't opened an email in 30 days, you're now completely unengaged, right? So I need to tap you into a re-engagement campaign. By the way, the target of a re-engagement campaign is 3 to 5% conversion. Okay? It's not that high. We're not trying to get everybody back. Ideally, it would be ideal to be able to do so, but a realistic expectation would be somewhere between 3 and 5%. Okay? So you got 100,000 disengaged people. We would love to be able to get 3,000 to 5,000 back engaged. Right? Now, you get to the end of that re-engagement campaign, you've sent them offers and, hey, we got this webinar coming up and we got this and we got this and they're still not engaged. And then what you do, part of a re-engagement campaign is what we call a win-back campaign. A win-back campaign is it's one of those kind of deals. You ever had somebody, you try to call them on the phone and they're not answering the phone? And now, I've called you several times, you didn't answer, it went to voicemail. Now I call you and it rings once and it goes to voicemail. And I'm texting you, and you're not texting me back. What did I do? Right? Was it me? Are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong? Right? Think about it as like a regular relationship. That's what a win-back campaign is all about. It's about, are you still there? Yeah. And so I may send 3 emails in that. Now, I send 3 emails in that, and I don't get a response back. What am I going to do? Dump them. Delete it. You obviously don't want a relationship. I'm working harder at this relationship than you are. This is an unequitable relationship. I shouldn't have to want this relationship with you much more than you want. Right?
Plus, you're poisoning my list.
Yeah. We need to be in this together. And by the way, you're keeping me from being able to see all the other ladies. Right? There it is. So dump them. Moving on. Right? And then we look at KPIs and metrics. Okay? Now, what have I given you? What have I given you?
In the whole list or in number 9?
In the whole list. By the way, some of you guys, when we first started talking, were mentioning KPI, essentially KPIs and metrics. Wait. So let me ask you this. I asked Mark this the other day, and he stammered with it for a while, so shut it. Yes, fail. This is a process. And by the way, this is the order in which I suggest it be built. Why? So if you've got 4,000 emails on your list already, why would you not want to segment those people before you start looking at your promo calendars and indoctrination and all this other stuff? Why is segmentation number 7, for example?
It's got to go so far in the process to create the visibility to know where and how to segment them.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys kept saying, well, you got to send stuff out to your clients. You got to send out blah. And, well, look at all these clients and prospects that I have on my stinking list. I got to get them emailed.
We didn't have one
Didn't have 1 through 9. Yeah. But why? I mean, specifically, why would segmentation be something that is much further down the list? If the purpose of segmentation is to email you based on what you're interested in today.
We don't know what they're interested in sometimes.
Do what?
We don't know what they're interested in yet.
Yeah, okay, we don't know what they're interested in. That's the whole purpose of segmentation. I have no freaking clue what you're interested in. So why would I not do this first?
You don't know she likes long walks on the beach.
I don't know. But why would I not do this first? You're not answering the question.
You have to build a relationship.
Because it'd be a waste to send it before knowing that.
A waste to send what?
Your email.
But you know it here. So if it's a waste to send out emails before I know this, then why am I building all of this before I know what they're interested in?
Because like you said in step 1, you have to make sure that you audit what you actually have before you start worrying about who's going to go where.
All right, you sell Kirby vacuum cleaners. You know what you got. Who are you going to sell it to? People that are interested in Kirby vacuum cleaners or people that are not interested in Kirby vacuum cleaners? Okay, so I now start sending you out emails saying, hey, buy my stinking vacuum cleaner. Buy my vacuum cleaner. Buy it now. Hey, we're doing home visits. I'm going to be at your house at 5 o'clock tonight. There's nothing you can do or say about it. Be prepared. I'm banging down your door. I'm going to throw crap in your carpet just so I can vacuum it back up.
You can yell at the person who's interested in buying the vacuum, but the people you thought don't want the vacuum might be interested in vacuum now. So it's just to have everybody know or have everybody have the same opportunity.
Okay. So here's the thing. I sell vacuum cleaners, but what else did I sell besides vacuum cleaners?
Vacuum accessories.
Vacuum cleaner bags, vacuum cleaner extensions, accessories. I got the the carpet shampooer that attaches to the vacuum cleaner. I got all this stuff. If you're already a customer in my customer list, you're a customer because you already bought the vacuum cleaner. So I need to find out. Why am I trying to sell you another vacuum cleaner? There's nothing like being frustrated when somebody keeps trying to sell you something that you already bought. I get that frequently, and it aggravates the crud out of me, right? I already own this. I get it on Facebook all the time, right? The sponsored ads. I already own this, people. I've told you twice. Stop sending me ads for things I own.
So they didn't segment their list after your purchase.
But let's say it's a prospect. I mean, again, roughly how many emails would you say you have in your list today?
How many contacts?
Yeah.
3,000.
Okay. So 3,000 something. Okay. Do you know what all of those people are interested in right now? Okay. So then the question is why do we not segment them first to find out what they're interested in?
I mean, I've got it generically as far as if they're a prospect or a customer.
That's really not, that's a minor segmentation. Whether they're a prospect or a customer yes, it is a segmentation, but that's not what we're talking about. Are they interested in air breakers? Are they interested in circuit breakers? Are they interested in air handlers? Motor parts? What are they interested in?
Yeah,
Do you know?
You have to wait until they engage with you and tell you what they're interested in.
well, if they're in the
But what if you got a list like his who's completely unengaged? They're completely unengaged because you haven't been sending them stuff regularly.
right,
That's where most lists lie, is it not?
Yes.
that's where mine is, because those that are customers, if I went one customer at a time and opened, I could physically see what they want. But outside of that, I don't know where to start tomorrow.
You're completely missing the point. Why would I worry about segmenting them until after I have already built the other stuff?
Because it doesn't really do you as much good to know who your targets are if you're not able to know how you're going to get in touch with them.
Yes, it does me zero good whatsoever to find out that you're interested in carpet shampooer attachments for your Kirby vacuum if I don't have anything to talk to you about. If I can't engage with you on that because I've not built any engagement campaigns around carpet shampooers, right? I can segment you and find out you're interested in that today. And then it goes into limbo because you got to wait however long it takes you to build out stuff to talk to you about that. But now that it's taken this long, you may have went ahead because, by the way, I segmented you and I reminded you that you're interested in that, but I didn't talk to you about it, getting it from me. You just went to Amazon and bought it. No snap. Talk to you about a 200 amp breaker box. Interested in a 200 amp breaker box, segmented out 200 amp breaker box, but there's no conversation around 200 amp breaker box. Where can I go and buy a 200 amp breaker box? Lots of places. Yeah. Amazon, Home Depot, Lowe's. There's lots of places I could go and buy that, right? But do I want to bring up and open a conversation? I guess let's look at it back as human relationships again. Have you ever had somebody that started a conversation with you about something they know absolutely nothing about? Right? It's like, so, how do you feel about the current state of politics in America today?
Somebody does that to me a lot.
Yeah.
You remember the movie such and such? No. You ever heard of this band such and such? No.
Yeah. It really makes it difficult to have that conversation, doesn't it? Because it's like
We've learned to adjust.
I don't care. Yes.
Yeah,
Everyone laughs because everyone knows it's you. So, yeah. I mean, it really boils down to that. You start to have a conversation about someone. So how do you feel about roses on Valentine's Day? Oh, I love roses. I love roses so much. That's my favorite flower. Okay, great. And that's the end of the conversation. Right? Like, well, I mean, you didn't ask why do you love roses. You didn't ask why. Why is it your favorite flower? What color rose? It's, you're not engaging with any form of conversation, right? It's kind of like when you ask a person an open-ended question and they answer you with a yes or no. What color is your car? Yes. Right?
That's the nice way to say, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah. But you're doing that when you're segmenting before you have anything else. You're actually doing that to your customers and prospects.
So building a narrative.
Yeah. In other words, build the narrative before you find out where people are interested in, so that way you have something to talk about, right? It's one of those kind of things. If you don't understand the fact that the United States is not a democracy, maybe you shouldn't have a conversation about the politics of the United States. It's not a democracy, it's a democratic republic. What's the difference? How does it work? Right? This is called electoral college. Why is it electoral college? What's the difference between electoral college and direct democratic voting? Right? We should know that. Right? What's the difference between the history of the Democrats and the history of the Republicans? By the way, people don't know that kind of stuff, so they rely on what? Stupid crap like Facebook to get their information. Because people don't know, right? Now, there are loads of people out there that will engage in conversations that they really don't know anything truly about, but they are fully passionate about something that they are completely uninformed about, right? Welcome to America.
Uninformed but highly opinionated.
Uninformed but highly opinionated, yes. And it really goes back to that. How do you feel about the quality of those conversations? It's kind of like, I was trying to have a conversation with a guy the other day. I won't say what relationship he was, just in case the video gets watched. But it is a potential family member. So I'll leave it at that. So was having a conversation with him the other day, and he was asking about something. I was talking about something that I'm getting ready to build, right? And he's given me advice on how to build something. You have no clue what you're talking about. You're a moron. Okay? For the love of God, stop talking, because I'm now wanting to drop kick you in the face. Okay? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's that. It's like, please. You know HVAC. Probably shouldn't say that. Okay, I already said I've narrowed down my market here, segmented my market. So, you know HVAC, okay? You know HVAC. It doesn't mean you know everything. I have literally built what we're talking about 50 times over. Don't tell me how to do it. And then, by the way, 20 minutes after that, because we're actually at their house, 20 minutes after that, so I'm thinking about expanding this and doing this. Well, if you're looking at expanding a bathroom, you've got this space here, or you could put it over there, but there's a bathroom already here. Why wouldn't you just tap into the plumbing and run it over here versus trying to put it all the way over there? Well, I mean, I could run it all the way. Of course you could run it all the way over there. It's added time, it's added expense, and it's completely unnecessary because it does not help the flow of anything at all. You ever have those conversations? Huh? Do you enjoy those conversations?
Passionately.
Yeah. Yeah. Neither do your prospects or customers. You see what I'm getting at about segmentation? Right? I mean, that's the point. You don't want to ascend to someone who hasn't bought yet. Right? Why do we want to do the annual promotion planning and building the 90-day rolling promo calendars? Why do we want to do that stuff first?
It prevents you from just shotgun firing and hoping that something sticks.
Well, you actually are shotgun firing willy-nilly and hoping something sticks when you're sending out a Thanksgiving Day coupon to all of your customers and prospects. I mean, that's by definition a shotgun blast.
Yeah.
But it helps us send the appropriate email at the appropriate time
Well, maybe.
with the appropriate offer.
Maybe. Because you're planning based on, it is the more appropriate, not the fully appropriate, right? So again, back to our HVAC example, you don't want to be advertising heat repair in the middle of July, right? Not unless you live in the Antarctic. Right? So you don't want to be advertising that there. So you advertise AC repair, but who are you advertising AC repair to? Only people on your list that need AC repair? You don't know. Right? So you try to get in this, what's the highest likelihood product and or service that they might need or be interested in at any given point, right? If they engage with that, then you know that they actually have an interest in that, right? So in other words, if I said I'm going to send out a coupon, a 10% off coupon for circuit breakers, and they click to get that coupon, I know they're interested in circuit breakers. Kind of obvious, right? But the reality of it is the reason why we want to do this first is because we're going to try to get quick hits, right? Remember, how do I monetize? This is long term. This stuff takes a while to build. It takes, not only does it take a while to build, it takes a while to test, it takes a while to modify, it takes a while to retest. In the meantime, I don't want to leave you out in the cold. Hey, by the way, it's going to be 2.5 years before you can make any money off of this because it's going to take us about that long to build out everything. And I'm spending how much money? Right? It's not something people want. But if I can start it with some quick hits, getting some money rolling in, right? And if I'm doing it for my own business, right? I want to get some quick hits. I want to get some money rolling in. And let me build the other stuff, right? And now I can begin to, as I get new prospects into the system, I can begin to indoctrinate, right? I can, if they come into the system based on whatever methodology it is, it gives me an idea of what they might be interested in, so I can engage them with that. They're a customer, they bought a little bit of something, I can ascend them and turn them into a multi-buyer. Then all those people that haven't bought anything in a while, right? I can go back and look at those people that haven't bought anything in a while and say, hey, maybe I'm just not talking to them about something they're interested in. So let me see if I can segment those people out and find out what they're interested in, right? Some of those people aren't going to respond at all. They're not going to reply to anything. They're not going to open your emails. So crap, I got 500 emails sitting right here that these people have not opened squat in 120 days. Let me send out a re-engagement campaign to those people. But I've done all this stuff. They're just not opening it. So let me see if I can get them back on board, get them back to open it, right? And once I can get them back on board and get them back to opening it, I'm good to go. But if I can't, I need to remove them out of my list so I'm not emailing a bunch of people who aren't opening my stuff and making it more difficult for my stuff to get delivered to inboxes.
Yes.
Yes. And I need to keep track of that. It's why when I'm looking at KPIs and metrics, I don't want to look at 75,000 different things, right? I want to be able to look at simple stuff, open rates, right? Click rates, bounce rates, complaint rates, right? What does an open rate tell me?
Engagement.
Okay.
Interest level.
Okay.
Tells you that you are interested based on what your subject line was.
Okay, absolutely. In other words, open rate tells me how good of a job I did at selling the open with my subject line. Right? The purpose of a subject line of an email is to get somebody to open the email. Right?
Smelling something cooking if you want.
Absolutely. So that's my fajitas. Right? This is my subject line. Now they open the email. It's the body of the email that sells the click. There's my click rates. Right? Now, if they're clicking the unsubscribe, then I'm looking at unsubscribe rates, complaint rates, those kind of things, right? If it gets sent and it's bouncing, right? Can't get opened, of course, because the email address is no longer valid. There's my bounce rate, right? I need to get rid of those quickly. Stop sending those immediately, right? Because that will tear you up faster than anything.
So if they're a hard bounce and they're a pre-existing customer.
If they're hard bouncing a pre-existing customer, then what I would do is I would look at, okay, I mean, if there's somebody that bought something for $10 from me 5 years ago and haven't bought anything since, delete them out of the system. If they've bought several things from me and I look like they may be a good potential customer, I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to call them and say, hey, sent something to your email the other day. Did you change email addresses? Yeah? Let me get that new email address because I want to make sure that we're getting stuff. By the way, don't forget to whitelist us. I'm going to, matter of fact, I may even schedule the Indoctrination campaign to go back out to them again. I'm going to shoot you out an email that just to remind you to whitelist us and all the cool stuff that we send you. Right? I may send that again. Right? If it's a prospect and I don't know about quality, usually I'm just going to delete it.
So if it's a
Hard bounce on prospect, delete.
what about just a regular bounce?
Soft bounce on a prospect, soft bounce on a prospect or soft bounce on anything means it can't be delivered right now. It could have been an internet related problem. There's many problems. It doesn't necessarily mean the email address is bad. It just means that for whatever reason it couldn't get to the inbox at that period of time. Okay.
But addressing hard bounces more so than soft bounces.
Hard bounces need to be directly addressed. Soft bounces, not so much. Because soft bounce usually means it's a temporary issue. Right? In other words, if I call your phone and I get bleep, 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 or sorry, this phone number's been disconnected, but I know it's your phone, then I'm also going to know chances are you didn't pay your phone bill this month. Dang it. Doesn't mean your phone number is bad, right? It just means that I'm probably not going to be able to get a hold of you until you pay your phone bill. Okay? So it's the same equivalent in a soft bounce. There's any number of reasons why it might not be able to get to it right then and there, right? So again, it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad overall. It just means that it couldn't get, that one email couldn't get there for whatever reason. And it tends to happen.
'Cause I got plenty on it big time.
Mm-hmm.
But when I get in there and look, there's so many hard bounces, part of it was just go select all, pull the trigger, done.
Yeah, with your particular CRM, what I would do is I would do a search on hard bounce prospect and delete them. Hard bounce client then would be much lower number, but you can actually look at those then and see, because of the nature of the beast, if it were to come from an eBay and Amazon or whatever, and it's a hard bounce client, unless you collected a phone number to be able to call those people with, then just delete it. I mean, because again, chances are their eBay account, Amazon account, whatever may have been shut down.
Yeah, if they're Amazon, it comes back or came back, it's gonna show an Amazon given linked email. So
Right.
give you theirs,
Right.
which I get rid of those anyway, because Amazon's gonna filter to the point to where they're the medium for communication.
Of course. Your concept in that, by the way, is to essentially advertise the name of the company enough to those kinds of people to where they are more likely to actually go to Google and look you up. Yeah. So look you up directly. Does it make sense? Start the very first question: how do I monetize? And this is the order. Right? This is how we build stuff in email marketing to be the most effective methodology. You got to look at what we offer first. Look at what makes sense, what time of year. We got to get a plan out there for what am I going to put on sale when, right? What am I going to offer? What's the most advantageous thing? And build that 90-day calendar. Got to get them on board, set the tone and the boundaries for the relationship. Have that conversation with others, have tea, coffee, or dinner with them, right? Now we can knock some boots and have some babies, right? What else are they interested in, right? They got disengaged right here. We need to go on a date, right? Got a little disengaged in our relationship. We need to start dating again, right? And keep track of what's working, what's not.